I have so many icks in the wellness space. I do. And it's not to put anyone or anything down or, really badmouth any practitioners or anything like that, because that's what I am. Right? I am a wellness practitioner, and I don't think it's ideal to just like put people down. But I want to create awareness, and I want to create awareness from the standpoint of the consumer, not the practitioner. So here's a few icks that I got. Number one is the continuous content and the continuous words, literally words. And if you're a person that believes that words matter, then you're gonna love this. And as soon as I say it, you're gonna have a light bulb. Okay, talking from scarcity or pain points versus actually empowering. So you can see, as an example, such a difference. I'm gonna give you guys this like first one and second one type of deal. Okay, so how does this sound? Right, you're scrolling, and there's content that will make you stop scrolling, or you'll actually watch the ad, right? Because it says, are you uncomfortable in your skin? Do you have acne on your chin? Do you have insomnia? And it's like, yes, oh my gosh, this person's reading my mind, right? And then like right away, it goes into a pitch of their program. And it's like, okay, I don't know what I got from that, except the fact that these people know what my physical symptoms are. Versus the empowerment of what happens when you say, I know you're uncomfortable in your skin because, and then it lists the reasons of why you could possibly feel uncomfortable in your skin. Now, take that situation, take that first example of, you're uncomfortable in your skin, right? It may be bloating, it may be some weight, it could be feeling anxious, it could be so many things, right? But how amazing that that person now listed the reasons. It could be food, it could be oils, it could be environmental factors, maybe like scented candles or something, right? It could be so many more things. And let's say you're a person that you don't do scented candles in your home, and maybe you do sleep great, so insomnia is not really your thing, right? And you kind of look at this one aspect of this content that's saying, hey, I know you're not comfortable in your skin, but here's some possibilities of why. That gives you so much self-advocacy. It's not ignoring the fact, like, I know you have this problem, so this is what you should do. It's really from the consumer side, it's really saying, man, yes, I am uncomfortable in my skin. Oh my gosh, yeah, this really does align with me. This could really be the possibility. And you want to continue searching. That's called self-advocacy. It's continuing searching, staying curious. Now, let's say that didn't align with you. Let's say, no, you know what? I am uncomfortable with my skin, but like I do this and I don't do that. And no, I don't drink alcohol, and I've taken Jetta's like free training, so I know gut health cooking methods, so it's not the oils, right? Like, let's really say this is a deal, and it's not that. You know what? You can feel so good about just scrolling on by and living your life. I'm such a firm believer on just live your life, live a higher quality of life, and really stop getting into people's head in such a negative way. In my opinion, this is just an opinion, I think this is manipulation, is when we talk about only from scarcity and from a impact of pain point, only talking from pain point. I think that's manipulation. And obviously, you can see where the manipulation happens, right? Where you're like, oh my God, yes, that's me. And then they like straight go into a program, right? Many people don't even buy into that, but there are people, and this is where this is super important too, and this kind of goes into the next ick of mine, if you will, is not being able to say, hey, this is specifically for chronic illness. This is specifically for PCOS. This is specifically for da-da-da-da-da, right? And really letting the consumer, letting us really figure out, is this person really right for me? If we're kind of being pushed, and I feel like this is a big thing in the chronic illness community, something that I dealt with for a very long time until really I was much more confident in my own skin and much more confident in like what I was doing. It wasn't until then, which was a very long time, we're talking more than 10 years of this was that I was easily pushed around. Like if anybody would say, hey, like this specialist is gonna do great for you. This is actually a true story. I went to 8 dermatologists before I actually stopped going to any dermatologist. Okay, I went to 8. And all 8 of them were all recommended to me by someone else that had either really severe acne or actually even period issues, menstrual cycle issues. And so I was like, oh my God, I have that I have both, right? I got skin issues, I have liver issues, I have menstrual cycle issues, all sorts of stuff, right? And so I went to 8 different dermatologists, some of them close, some of them far. Distance really didn't matter to me, right? Because that back then there was no like online coaching and online help, right? It was like all voodoo back then, right? And so I went to 8 dermatologists, and all 8 of them would tell me something kind of the same, slightly different. And it was something along the lines of like some creams. And I remember for a while I used to do this like tangerine cream. I don't know, for all like my acne gals, maybe you guys have done it, but there's like this tangerine cream that was really popular in like the 2000s and like the 2006s, 2007s. And I did that for a little while, and it helped. And then I went to that same dermatologist and I was like, hey, like my acne came back. Like, oh, what is that from? And you know what he told me? He goes, oh, that's just your skin getting used to the cream. And I was like, what? Obviously, back then, I didn't do university. I wasn't, right? Like, I was in middle school and high school, and I was like, what are you talking about? My skin got used to it, and now this cream magically doesn't work, right? And so that kind of brought me into that thought of like, I really want to know why you chose to work with me. And I think, again, getting to know your professional as a human, as a full human, like I'm not just a professional, I'm also, a mom, I'm also a wife, I'm also a ex-gymnast, and I still want to flip around because I love to defy gravity. Like getting to know the person, I feel like is much more underrated than it really is. I think it's so beautiful to get that person, and also for the professionals to get to know you as well. Again, you're creating self-advocacy. You're creating that, like, let's go back to this dermatologist that was like, oh yeah, that cream stopped working, right? I was like, what do you mean? Right? And like I asked that because that's me. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, yeah, like creams just stopped working because like there's layers of skin, and that skin just got used to you putting on that cream, so now we got to change creams. And at that time, coming back to this chronic illness mentality is like, okay. And there was no self-advocacy. There wasn't any more of like questioning and keeping up that curiosity, which is a huge reason of why I talk about keeping that question of why alive, right? Why does that happen? And I don't know what he would have told me. We may never know now, right? But really getting into that curiosity, self-advocacy, seeing what is this professional telling me? And I hate to say it, but it almost sounds like I'm saying like read between the lines, but kinda, because if someone is only talking from that scarcity mindset and from the touch point of pain points, right? If they're only talking from that, you're not going to make a full body yes decision. And from there, so many things can happen just as human psychology is so broad, right? It's so vast. I think we only know what like 4% of like psychology or something. Like that's insane. It's like such a small amount, yet like it's so big, right? But psychology is saying that if you are questioning the things that you're doing, then you're gonna end up not having results because you're not doing it with your whole body. Your body's not saying yes, it's saying maybe. And this is again coming back to that self-advocacy, again coming back and being like, what is it about this person that I really want to work with? Really? Who you work with, the professional that you choose to go to a doctor's visit, the person that your dermatologist, your gut health expert, your so many specialists, especially in these days, right? It really does matter. I am the person that like I'm not accepting less than. 'Cause I know my worth. That took a lot of years. And you also may be sitting here like, yeah, man, I've been going to this like crappy doctor for the past 10 years and I literally hate her and I can't stand it. I ask for labs and she rolls her eyes and, da 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 da, right? Like, whatever beef you got, whatever inner beef, I should say, right? Because that's the thing. Like, you're not going to be like, doctor, I hate you. You suck, right? Like, no, because we have respect. We're human, right? We're adults, right? But we internalize that. We internalize so many things in this life. Why does your health have to be one of them? Why? Change doctors. Find a doctor that takes your insurance. Find a doctor that actually wants to get to know you. Because trust me, there are doctors out there. There's phenomenal doctors out there. But they're just like me. They're not that high in they're not in the Instagram algorithm, and they don't have 23,000 views on reels, and they don't have those things that are like, because we're not extreme, because we are going to sit there and want to talk to you and get to know you as a person. And I've always said this, like, whatever is mainstream, look at that. Look at what's mainstream and see why this person that maybe, maybe you do know someone in mind. Maybe you do have a professional mind right now. Maybe you have, a dentist, a dermatologist, any professional. And you're like, man, like maybe you drive by this office that has almost no cars there, right? Think about why that is, because we don't live in that world anymore where, likes equal money, or likes equal, or followers equal, or cars in the parking lot equal good service. No, we're not in that world anymore. And we need to adapt and see things for what they are, really. My husband says so often, always give people a chance. And if they prove you wrong, then they prove you wrong. And you don't ever wonder the what ifs. Now, I'm sure you guys know my story with my husband, and if not, it'll be said within another podcast episode. But my husband is that person that really taught me, like, just give it one chance. Just give it one chance. And speaking from, again, that consumerism side, not the professional side, I think if I didn't give the 8 dermatologists chances, I don't think I would have known as much as I know. That has nothing to do with my school. It has to do with self-advocacy, it has to do with mindset, it has to do with so much more that education cannot give me, ever. So really understand there's so many valuable things that we can gather, but really learn to make decisions from that self-advocacy.